Welcome to the Community Difference Plano. Powered by the Difference Media LLC. And hosted by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group. And sponsored by Jacqueline Kreider with PBJ Mortgage. Tyler Clifton with Harvest Business Solutions. Jim Thomas, Business Consulting and Funding. Diane Cassel with Cassel to Cassel. Traci Duff with Assisted Living Locators. Lauren Gill with My Live, Love, Travel. Megan Schoffer with The Hive of the Happily Insured. Jeannie Smith with Guardian Mortgage, a division of Sunflower Bank, N.A. Audra Hoover with Alloy Personal Training at the Gleneagles in Plano and Castle Hills locations. And by Asia Mahmood with Windhaven Academy.
The Community Difference Plano was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals.
So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts and insights about being a professional along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Plano starts now.
Good morning, Plano. It's 11:32 on a beautiful, humid, and rainy Wednesday morning, but still awesome because it's not 100 degrees. There is a second summer on the way. Unfortunately, we should be pretty used to that in this part of town, but I'm hearing that fall will actually be fall this year. So that is excellent. Welcome to the Community Difference Plano, a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I am your host, Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, where we specialize in guiding your personal finances and offering tailored small business solutions. At the Enfuego Group, we're not just about financial freedom, but we're passionate about empowering aspiring entrepreneurs to break free from corporate America. So I invite you to join us on our mission to ignite the fire for freedom and help you live life on fire. Let's get to it. We are in week 2. We have a stellar show planned for you. We've got a great What's Up segment, What's Up Plano segment in our second, really our first segment after the commercial break here coming right up. We will be continuing our topic, effective top-of-mind strategies, how to build a relevant, iconic brand without being salesy and self-promoting. I think that's something that we all need to pay attention to because it's extremely important in today's ever-changing digital world. In order to do all those things, I want to bring in my amazing co-host. Let's start with Diane Cassel, who's dedicated to empowering individuals with the knowledge and tools to support nonprofits and make a lasting impact. Her mission is to elevate lives, empower dreams, and fund hope, teaching business owners how to network with purpose and leverage calls marketing to grow their business. She believes in the power of service, helping others live boldly, and creating a positive change for their community. Please welcome to the show, Diane Cassel. Diane, good morning to you.
Good morning, Nathan.
How are you?
You know, I couldn't be better. God woke me up today. So
hey, that's a positive thing. What's the most exciting thing that's happened to you in the last week?
Probably being asked to speak to the Plano Symphony Orchestra.
Really?
To help them raise funds for their mission to bring music to the community and to also provide instruments for students in school.
That's good. That's really good. Well, maybe we can hear more about that after you do it, see how it went. You can come in and report back to us. So that's fantastic. Well, let's bring in your partner in crime, Traci Duff with Assisted Living Locators, a Plano resident. She is pleasant. A Plano resident for over 30 years, a community-driven leader, advocate, and volunteer, from coaching Special Olympics to supporting Alzheimer's awareness and pajamas for seniors. Traci's passionate about serving her community. As the owner of the Assisted Living Locators, she provides expert, compassionate guidance to families navigating senior care questions, ensuring personalized support at no cost, which is awesome. So please welcome to the show, Miss Traci Duff. Traci, good morning. There we go.
Good morning.
We had you and then we lost you. Now you're back. Okay. Good morning. What's the most, can you top Diane's exciting news?
Oh, I don't know. It's pretty exciting. So September is kind of the month of purple for me, with me doing all my fundraising for the walk to end Alzheimer's. And we overachieved yesterday with my car show. I had a car and bike show at Shark Club, and it was so fun. So I'm definitely doing it again next year. And yeah, so we hit over $1,200. My goal was $1,000. And yeah, so it was a good thing.
Well, I love that. Well, let's bring in, before we go to break here, let's bring in our guest today. First of all, he is a renowned, that's a big word. That's a good word to use when you're describing somebody. Renowned entrepreneur, speaker, and consultant with a distinguished career as a Broadway star, over 40 years of performance experience, including starring as the Phantom in the Phantom of the Opera. That's a pretty important part of the Phantom of the Opera. He now empowers professionals through his Star Power brand. He teaches communication, branding, and personal development, helping entrepreneurs and creatives command influence in their industries. His best-selling book, The Artist Survival Guide, and his extensive expertise have made him a global thought leader in both entertainment and business. Please welcome to the show, James Barbour. James, good morning to you.
Hi. Wow, that was a cool bio. I feel excited to meet you.
Yeah, you're like, well, I did all those things. That's impressive.
Yeah,
that's
made me
impressive.
feel old too. Thank you for being. I'm grateful being here with you guys.
Well, we're glad to have you. What's the most exciting thing you've done over the past week?
Well, here's my oldest daughter plays elite volleyball, and they're like we're ingrained in that as parents. So really, what it is their team has now gone 6-0 in their high school season. So we're really jazzed.
I love volleyball. Volleyball is probably one of my second favorite sports. I don't know, to play. It's pretty fantastic.
Cool.
Well, awesome. We're glad you're here. Glad to hear, especially in our topic segment, some of the things that you're going to be able to bring to the topic. And so let's bring in our last guest. We've got a couple of surprise guests that we'll introduce in our What's Up Plano segment. But let's bring in Nick Avila, the Family House Company. Nick is a real estate professional with nearly a decade of experience buying and renovating homes across North Texas. Is the founder of the Family House Company. He specializes in providing homeowners with a quick, hassle-free alternative to traditional home sales, offering cash for homes in as-is condition. His expertise helps families close deals quickly without the burden of renovations. Please welcome to the show, Nick Avila. Nick, good morning to you, sir.
Hello. How's everything going?
It's going really well, actually. So
thank you. I only hope that one day I can also be renowned. That's my new goal.
Hey, that's yeah. You have to be on. I think you just have to be on Broadway for 4 years. So,
I don't think that's in the cards. My wife tells me about my singing. It's not so good.
Okay. Well, hey, if you're ever on again, I'll make sure to put renown in your bio.
Thank you.
So I want you to feel good about yourself, and that's important. Self-esteem is a big deal. So, what's the most exciting thing you have going on, or that you've done the last week or so?
I mean, I've had a couple of good work things. So a house that I was renovating and selling, I just closed on it on Friday and got that sold, and it looks really good. And I got an offer yesterday on a house that I'm listing for another client that kind of difficult to sell. But anyway, so just a couple of good work things that I'm excited about right now.
Well, that's fantastic. That's awesome. And I look forward to getting to speak more with you as we get into the show. Right now, we're going to take our first commercial break. When we come back, it's our What's Up Plano segment. We want to bring you the news of the day and the events and the things that are going on that are going to impact you and that you need to know. So stick around. We'll be right back on the Community Difference Plano.
The Community Difference Plano was made possible by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, Diane Cassel with Cassel to Cassel, connecting charities to fundraising solutions, Jim Thomas, business consultant and business funding expert, Tyler Clifton with Harvest Business Solutions, Traci Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Asiya Mahmood with Windhaven Academy, Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel, Jacqueline Kreider with PBJ Mortgage, Megan Schoffer with The Hive of the Happily Insured, Jeannie Smith with Guardian Mortgage, a division of Sunflower Bank, N.A. And by Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training at the Glen Eagles Plano and Cassel Hills locations. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
The Plano.
That's right. What's Up Plano, brought to you by Voodoo Brewery. If you're looking for a great place to relax with a delicious craft beer and support local, check out Voodoo Brewery, locally owned and operated. This brewery gives back to the community and offers a wide selection of unique beers that you won't find anywhere else, like their West Coast IPA, packed with tropical fruit notes, 7.3 alcohol by volume, variety of beers, included like 24 of them, and they're constantly getting new ones. Some of them are their own, some of them they rotate through. Tasty pub fare. Wow, if I could read today, that'd be helpful. And a family-friendly atmosphere. Voodoo Brewery is a must-visit in downtown Plano. Mention the Community Difference podcast for 20% off your first beer. Okay, a couple of things. Speaking of Voodoo that we want to share, we have our happy hour there. We've been there the last 3 months. This is our 4th month there. On the 26th of September at 5 p.m., we're going to be at Voodoo Brewery for our happy hour. We will also be giving away a free appetizer, drink, and entree coupon to the first person that we have a check-in form when you get there, kind of a guest book. First person to sign it digitally that has not been there before. So this is a good time to come out, get a free, basically, dinner, drink, take a date with you, take your wife. If you have a wife, don't take a date, take your wife. That would be weird. But make sure that you are there. We want to hang out with you. I'm telling you, if you've never been, it's a fantastic environment. Okay, couple of things that we want to share coming up. We had Sergeant Babb on, James Babb, with the Plano Police Department a couple of weeks ago, and really just built a relationship. Thanks to Jax Kreider and Lauren Gill for doing that. There's an event coming up called Crass. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Maybe it's Crace. Is it Crace? Okay, got it. Plano, Crass seems like when you're just not approachable at all, like a get off my lawn kind of thing. So we don't want that. Crace, September 17th. It's at 6:30 to 8:30. It's the Davis Library. It's basically a Homeland Security driven crime prevention segment between, obviously from the government, the police department. If you want to understand first of all, what makes Plano such a safe city to live in, what you can do as a citizen to be part of that endeavor, then you definitely want to be there on that day. Again, it's 6:30 on Thursday, September 17th. So it's basically 8 days Tuesday. Tuesday. So I'm saying that wrong. It's 6 days from today. So it'll be next Tuesday, September 17th, 6:30 to 8:30. Also, there's an extremely important event coming up. If you guys watch not only locally, but nationally, fentanyl is a very devastating drug, basically, although it's used for medical purposes, which is very, you may or may not agree with that. There are people that are on, pain pills, pain relievers, etc., and obviously can become addicted to that. It can really be a big issue for a lot of people. People are dying. People are, some of it's coming over the border in other drugs, right? Even though it is technically legal to prescribe for certain issues, there's a big issue with it in our country, and hopefully you're aware of that. And so, it can strike any community. I know people in rural Maine that have fentanyl issues in their small community. It can happen anywhere, whether it's coming in through, mixed in with other drugs or just people becoming addicted to it. And obviously it can be very, 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 very deadly. And so we're going to have a great panel of speakers on Saturday, October 5th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., the Mental Health and Substance Use Connection. You can see the panel of speakers there. Make a note on your calendar to be there. We're going to try to be there as well. And it's going to be just a really, really good event. So we'll put some more information into our community groups on Facebook, but we want to make sure that you guys are there for that. Okay, let's turn it over to Traci to bring in our guests for this segment. We've got a lot of good things to share that are happening in Plano as well. Traci.
Okay, good deal. So I want to welcome Sarah Akers. She was the founder of the Plano Children's Theater and now with the Collaborative Arts of Plano, along with Daryl Rodenbaugh, who is the CEO for North Texas Performing Arts. And they're going to tell us all about this awesome event coming up the end of this month, the North Texas Carnival of the Arts. So take it away, Sarah, or Daryl. Tell us all about
it.
Well, thank you for having us. Yeah, I'll start. The Collaborative Arts of Plano is a very young organization, but as part of our strategic plan, we decided that we wanted to offer the residents of Plano and North Texas an arts festival. And so on Saturday, September the 28th, from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., we're going to have dancers and theater performances and visual arts activities at the shops at Willow Bend near and around the Grand Court. The shops at Willow Bend have been so kind about offering this space to us for free, and they're partnering with us, and we're so grateful for their generosity. And North Texas Performing Arts is the chair. We're going to have 45 vendors. So, you think of all the dance organizations in Plano, theaters in Plano, musicians, choral groups. They're all going to be at the North Texas Carnival of the Arts. And there's going to be performances and visual art activities for children and everyone to partake in, an opportunity to be in a flash mob. And to be in a Disney Dazzle sing-along, and lots of really fun things.
Well, that sounds very exciting, especially those that are excited about the arts, which I hope everybody is. I think everybody has some connection to the arts in one capacity or another. So, Daryl, Sarah did such a great job. Anything to add to that?
Well, we're just excited to partner with the Collaborative Arts of Plano, and we're thrilled with our friends here at the shops at Willow Bend. Of course, the North Texas Performing Arts is based here at the shops at Willow Bend in what we call the Willow Bend Center of the Arts. It's the largest youth theater complex in the country that's based right here in Plano. The home of the North Texas Performing Arts was also the largest youth theater organization in the country. And so we're thrilled to be there. We're also excited to launch this is our second ever contest of North Texas Got Talent. This is going to be a competitive opportunity for artists of all types, for the singers, dancers, magicians, and beyond. They're going to come together and compete for $1,000 prize money for this big event taking place and culminating on the 28th. We did this in the midst of COVID, really to provide artists an outlet and an opportunity. We had almost 500 people come out for our contest, and we're planning to run that same exciting play again this time. And on the 28th, during the event, the final hour of the event, our top contestants will be competing for that prize money in both youth and adult categories. So we're looking forward to that. It should be a lot of fun.
And it's indoors.
Indoors is not a bad thing. Indoors is definitely not a bad thing.
Yes, air conditioned.
Well, Sarah, Daryl, thank you so much for being on. I appreciate you guys. And as we wrap up here, Diane, I'll let you bring in Miss Traci.
I am really excited to introduce Leslie Lord to the show for What's Up Plano. I've known Leslie now for many, many years. She plays an important role in our community as executive director of Carson's Crusaders. And if you don't know what Carson's Crusaders is, you are going to soon find out what they are all about. And I'll let her talk about that, but she plays this role and does an incredible job uniting the community to their efforts and their mission to help families that are struggling with a child suffering and battling with pediatric cancer. And they have their, we were joking about this. How do you pronounce gala? It's like tomato, gala. Well, I'm just an old little girl from Sioux City, Iowa, and we pronounce it gala, but I know in certain parts of the country it's gala. So with that, I'm going to let Leslie tell you about their upcoming gala/gala. And hopefully you will all jump on board and take part in this incredible mission. Leslie.
Thank you, Diane. I'm Leslie Lord, and I'm the Executive Director for Carson's Crusaders Foundation. And I say this often, and I'll say it again, it is the sweetest, kindest organization, I think, in North Texas that is helping these families that are in our community dealing with pediatric cancer. And we do that on a three-pronged approach. We do transportation assistance. That means gas cards, parking assistance, the out-of-pocket expenses that, really attribute to the financial toxicity of battling cancer. And then we have the sibling support side of it. We call them our sibling superstars. And what we do is we bring them together multiple times throughout the year. We provide, gifts and just things that we can uplift family members that are going through this. And then our third prong to it is advocacy and awareness. And September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And so we really spend this month trying to do multiple fundraisers, getting different facts and figures out there about how childhood cancer, the impact it has on the community and the families, and obviously on the patient themselves. And one of those ways we do that is we paint the town gold in September. And one of those is our largest fundraiser for the year. It's our gala, and it's brighten the night, and we try to brighten the lives of the families that we're supporting. And currently we're supporting 299 families in the Metroplex that are undergoing treatment. So the most we've ever done in our 13 years, a year, was 149. And right now we're at 299 families. So this Paint the Town Gold year is really just vital for us to raise those necessary funds for next year. And so our gala is next Thursday, September 19th. It's in Parker, Texas at Cross Creek Ranch. We just love this facility. It's just so user-friendly, and it's a beautiful backdrop. And this year we're going to believe in magic. That's our theme. We're bringing in an illusionist, and we're going to have, the wonderful community come in and hopefully have a wonderful night of fellowship and a great entertainment. And we'll feed and drink you, and then we'll have silent and live auction. And we'd really love for you guys to join us. You can find out the information. We're at carsonscrusaders.org. If you want to find us that way. And we're also at Carson's Crusaders Foundation on Facebook. So please join us. We have so much fun, and we'd love for you to have. Even Tracy and Diane know we know how to party for a cause, and we do.
I've heard amazing things about the Carson's gala/gala, depending on where you're from. And
right,
so,
right.
yeah, thank you, Leslie. I realized I just called you Tracy earlier because I was looking right at Tracy, but you guys knew who I was talking to. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you to Sarah and Daryl. Thank you guys so much for being on and sharing some important things that are going on. Continue to make sure that you as a citizen are keeping. We want to share these events in our community Facebook groups as well, but especially when it comes to crime prevention and looking out for the health and wellness of our citizens, I think it's extremely important to always know areas of opportunity there as well. All right, let's go to commercial break. When we come back, we will jump in to our September topic, effective top-of-mind strategies, building a relevant, iconic brand without being salesy and self-promoting. Enjoy these commercials. We'll be right back.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Enjoy DFW's most fun, affordable night out and catch the Rough Riders, the AA affiliate of the Rangers, at beautiful Riders Field in Frisco. Get your tickets at ridersbaseball.com. The Frisco Rough Riders, the future stars of your Texas Rangers.
Are you or someone you know pregnant or planning to conceive?
Caitlin Smith is both a certified childbirth doula and instructor offering childbirth classes to couples wanting an unmedicated, physiological birth outside of the hospital setting. Caitlin has served the local community since 2021 and specializes in working closely with midwives, all while best supporting a mother's physical body, her partner, and the birth environment. You can contact Caitlin through Instagram at This Mama Doula or email her at caitlinsmithdoula@gmail.com to learn more about childbirth classes or her doula services.
Are you looking to buy a home? The process can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be. With the help of a qualified loan officer like Paul Fisher, you can get the financing you need and get into your dream home. Paul Fisher, a direct local lender with Certainty Home Lending, has many years of experience helping people buy homes. He's knowledgeable, experienced, and he'll work with you to find the best loan for your needs. Contact Paul Fisher today to get started on your home buying journey. He'll help you every step of the way, so you can relax and focus on finding your dream home. Visit www.loansbyfisher.com or call 817-308-7361 to schedule a consultation with Paul. MLS number 2018111.
Now back to the show.
Welcome back as we jump into our topic of the month, effective top-of-mind strategies, how to build a relevant, iconic brand without being salesy or self-promoting. This, of course, referring to techniques and approaches to keep your brand consistently present in the minds of your audience. Now, obviously, there's a huge digital component to this, social media, but there's also a very relational, physical component, right? When how often do people think of me in their everyday life, and not in a self-consuming, like I don't want people like thinking about me while they're sleeping or something. That'd be weird. But in all honesty, we want to be top of mind, and not just for our product or service, but because we are a resource. And so we've talked many times over the past months and different topics about, our partnerships with other businesses and the way we relate to the community and how we, help other businesses grow, doing campaigns together, partnering with other businesses. All of these things drive attention to us, but they do that in a way that's not, hey, here's what I do and you should buy from me, right? There's enough of that still going on, which is kind of crazy that we haven't got the message, but we're even probably all of us are guilty of that in one capacity or another. And so building relationships, telling our story, engaging with the community, engaging with other businesses, those are really I guess thematically the best ways to build a top of mind strategy organically. And obviously, again, there's social media components to that. But when you think top of mind strategies, right? When you think top of mind, let's just start kind of broadly. James, I'll start with you. What are some areas? Well, let's make it simple. When you hear top of mind strategies, not being salesy, not being over the top. I know you work with a lot of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
How do you kind of broach that subject where you're selling more of yourself and your personality, your personal brand rather than your product or service?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's something that we deal with all the time. I deal with it all the time. The reality is that even if you're selling a car, if you're selling an iPhone, the first line is you. So you're actually selling you to the consumer. If there's no trust, if there's no understanding of who you are, then the gateway to whatever the product is or service you're selling, the gates are going to be closed. So to me, it's about building trust and not selling. It's about being of service and being of help, building that trust, which then gains the client or potential client's understanding of who you are, and then you can have a conversation.
Go ahead, Diane. I saw you about to ask a question.
Well, I've known James for a long time, and he's a master at adding value to everyone's life. That's just who he is. And I know that he has recently done a Facebook mastery class that I was privileged to be part of. And what that meant was, how do you build a group page and add content to all that? How do you get people engaged in it? And so one specific area that I wanted to ask James about today was I know that his wife has, as a dancer, started a group page to help people over the age of 50 to stay fit. And I'd love, James, if you could share your insight on how did you build that brand by leveraging the power of storytelling.
For sure. You know, like the brand I created was called Your Star Power or Star Power. And it happened because I was watching a video, and I'm sure this was at a great program, but the person was saying, hey, do you want to learn how to become a Grammy Award winning star? And it was this program about deep diving into all of that. At the end of the video, they said, you know what? I can teach you if you take my course, because I was backstage and I saw how they did it, and I'm going to show you how they did it. And the question came into my mind is, but they didn't actually do it themselves. So you're learning from someone who watched. Each one of you has an area of expertise. So what occurred was I work with a lot of people, and I consulted with somebody who does $200,000 a month on Facebook ads. And I would dare to say that not everybody can spend $200,000 a month on Facebook ads, let alone people of a certain age or starting their businesses that can't afford to hire somebody or don't even know how to do a Facebook ad effectively. So I looked at it and I said, how can I provide value, having built audiences my entire life for concerts or watching how tickets are sold to Broadway shows, where people can actually create an organic audience that's targeted exactly to who they are. The demographic I was working with was primarily at the time over 40, still on Facebook. And so my wife, again, as Diane said, was a prima ballerina, danced with Mikhail Baryshnikov at American Ballet Theater, did multiple Broadway shows. But she injured herself, you know, as she would. She's a high-end athlete, and got older and started in the fitness and health industry. So I said, okay, we want to build something for her dance world, but let me test this in a very saturated market. So we chose the fitness world, which is undoubtedly one of the most saturated markets there is, which we all know, health and beauty, right? So what I did was I tested it, and we created a Facebook group for fitness over 50. And within 3 weeks, organically, we had 4,000 people asking to be a part of this group, didn't spend a dime, and collected at that point, when we did it 3 weeks, 375 emails given to us without asking. And I said, this works. And it didn't cost a dime. So all it was being of service, going out and going into different groups on Facebook, literally 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. And you can automate those posts. Once you set them up, they're running. Going into the groups of like-minded businesses to whatever you're doing, because there are thousands of them on Facebook, which is still a viable audience, and then bringing them into your group. And then you have a targeted audience where you're being of value. You're not selling, like we talked about. You're not being, smarmy or whatever it's going to be. You're going into other groups and being of help. And then people notice you and say, wow, you're providing value here. And then they eventually come over to you. So that's what we did. And it's been very successful. And we've built the group. Now we have thousands of emails in our CRM. We have thousands of people still waiting to be part of this group. And ironically, it's not even the group that we intended to use as a business. It's a test for something else. So that's what we did, or I did.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting. Oh, sorry. I know you're, let me come right back to you, because you're in that strategy. You talked about bringing value. Mm-hmm. You talked about, leveraging storytelling. You talked about engaging the community, whether, it's kind of an online digital community, but still, people in your purview. Many probably live in the same community together. And those are really 3 of, 5 or 6 major tenets of staying top of mind. But like you said, none of that was, here's what I'm trying to do. Here's why you should buy my fitness service. I'm not exactly sure what she ended up doing, but the point is, here's value. You've hit on a need. You've provided something free of charge. You see this all the time. People give stuff away for free that ultimately will lead to revenue, because that's a great way of staying top of mind. Like people like free things. That's just the bottom line there.
Exactly.
But Tracy, go ahead. I'm sorry I cut you off.
Yeah, no. It works right into what I was going to say about Nick, because Nick and I, we do a lot the same out in the industry. We are a resource. Yes, we do great work, but we are known for knowing the right person that everybody needs to know. And one of the reasons why I jumped on Nick for this topic, for this podcast, is because he is the epitome of the non-salesy, authentic. He is truly there for your best interest, his client's best interest. And I see that when we're out in the industry and everything. So Nick, my question to you is, give us one story, because I know there's probably many, of a time where that approach of not selling yourself, not being salesy, maybe offering more resources or something, how that paid off for you and it circled back around to closing a deal or
yeah. Well, I appreciate the kind words and for having me on. And kind of like James said, like they're buying you before they're really buying the product. I mean, everyone has a different product, but they have to trust you and buy you before they want to hear about what you're selling or anything like that. There's a real estate coach that I remember one time, because, I'm in the real estate business and buying houses and that kind of stuff. And he said, be a truth teller and a truth seeker. And so for me, it's all about keeping your word and telling the truth. And that comes down to, even if it doesn't work in my best interest. And so whenever I'm meeting with a seller, people call me and say, hey, I've got a house. Like a lady called me yesterday and they're like, hey, can you come look at my house on Saturday? We're needing to sell for this reason and the other. And so whenever I go, I kind of work in like a niche, because when I'm buying homes for cash, like I give like as is offers by, a lot of times a home needs a bunch of work and the people don't want to do that. So, most homes sell on the MLS and sell like they look nice, they look good, they've got the fancy pictures. And so the ones that I work with are not those. So it's sort of the niche in the real estate industry. And so my services aren't perfect for like all sellers. And so that's like, if I'm talking to someone, I'm like, hey, this is, not the best fit for me to work with you. Then I'll be honest and say, hey, you should probably, find a realtor, put on the MLS and sell it this way. It'd probably be in your best interest to do that. Also, like you said, Tracy, like knowing people, connecting people. I mean, we know like junk luggers, we know, you're a placement agent. We know people that can help in all different kinds of ways. So providing free resources to people is another thing that you and I both do. So sort of as a real estate agent, and they kind of expect people in the real estate industry to know everybody. So I have my phone contacts with lenders and everybody else, contractors and stuff like that. So so the biggest thing for me is being honest and saying, hey, here's the best thing for you to do, even if it's not ending up in me buying the house. And so just a quick specific example. There was one in Carrollton, Louisville. A guy called me and I wanted to purchase the home. I wanted to buy it and fix it up and everything. But I said, here's probably what I could buy it for. Here's what you could sell it for if you just listed it. And he thought about it. And he's like, hey, I want to list it. And I actually have my real estate license as well. So I ended up listing the home, which is less of a profit for me, but that was in their best interest to do that. And they made more money because the home was actually pretty decent. It wasn't like totally run down, need a bunch of work. So so that worked out better for them. So that's, whatever route I want to help them and be a truth teller and a truth seeker and just be transparent and honest with people. So,
well, anytime that you have a customer experience, it's above and beyond. We talk about, like we've talked last week about innovative customer experiences, but in the real estate world, going out above and beyond, because so many people do the same thing. And obviously you've set yourself apart a little bit by being in more of a niche, market in some capacity, but doing the things, I mean, it would be nice if everyone could expect their realtor to do what's in their best interest, but that's not always the case. And so, giving that extra experience is a way that down the road, they're going to remember that. We had another realtor, Scott Johnson, that was on our Plano show. He's also one of our co-hosts in the Wiley show, talk about how he helped a client move out of their own house one time. And who does that, right? Well, guess what? He got a ton of referrals and really built relationships because of standing out, providing a value that he didn't need to do that, but he, took that as an opportunity to serve and provide something that is really not ordinary. I want to ask this to kind of everybody, but James, I'll start with you. How do you, when you're talking to high-level professionals or people that want to be high-level professionals, there is a balance between your personal branding, which is, your company, your name, what you do, et cetera, but then the need to make that authentic connection, right? Ensuring that people's, influence grows more organically than just through self-promotion.
Yeah.
So how do you, is there a rule of thumb, 60-40? Like, what do you teach people as far as that? Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. I actually think they're synonymous. And, the reason I created the brand I did was because, being a performer, I am my brand. Nick is his brand, Tracy's her brand, Nathan, your brand, Diane's her brand. So it's synonymous. Even when you see the big successful entrepreneurs, the Bezos, the Grant Cardones, the Elon Musks, they are in a sense a brand in themselves. So what goes hand in hand with that is being the same person, no matter where your business is. And so, to me, they're synonymous. And again, it is going to exactly what Nick said. It is that being of service, going beyond, because people are so used to seeing things on the internet. They're so used to having things, Instacart, instantly, and if you can go one step beyond or two steps beyond, not because you're trying to get something, but because that's who you really are, and those are the tenets of your business, that will stand out. And then recording it on social media. I mean, some people don't have the wherewithal or the knowledge or the skill, but even the emails that you create, Diane gets my emails. My emails don't sell anything. They share, they tell stories, they're funny. They'll give tips or insights on things because I'm building trust. So to me, the brand and the business, you and the business are synonymous, and you can't have one without the other.
I love that. Diane, we got 1 minute to break, but wrap us up here. I know you got a quick question.
I just, there's one thing that I've just got to ask James, because everybody's looking for advice, and, what do you do? What do you do to engage your community? If you're building a Facebook page, a group page, so James, since you are the expert in this arena, about helping people with that specific topic, what advice would you give us today, James, to help us?
Actually, I was going to say, Diane, that let's push that on the other side of the break, because that's actually a perfect segue into the next topic where we dive deep, but really to the community aspect. So actually, you just created a great segue, a great hook point for us. So let's go to break first, and then we come back. James, if you'll give us that answer, and then we want to get to know Nick as well a little more. So we're going to go to break right here. Enjoy these commercials, and then we'll be right back.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
Hey Texans, hold on to your hats. The Mesquite Championship Rodeo, newest sponsor partner of the Community Difference shows, is back, bigger and better than ever. Witness the heart-pounding action as the best riders in the world compete for glory. Feel the thrill of the chase, the raw power of nature, and the unbreakable spirit of the West. Don't miss your chance to be part of the legend. Get your tickets now for the Mesquite Championship Rodeo or win yours free just for watching the Community Difference shows.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
Buying a home? It should be an exciting time, not a stressful one. At Proven National Title, we understand that buyers want fast, reliable, transparent, seamless, convenient title and closing services. Therefore, our services are not limited to our office or yours. Let Jackie Tobar and all the fine folks at Proven National Title help make your dream of homeownership a reality. Call us to free closing. Contact us at 972-752-8540 or email at jackie.tobar@provennationaltitle.com. Proven National Title. Give me one and I'll earn the rest.
Get Her Done Home Remodeling, based in Wiley, Texas, is a family-owned business that has become a trusted name across the DFW Metroplex. Meet Robert Ridlin, proud owner along with his wife Kiana, of Get Her Done Home Remodeling. With years of construction experience, Robert and his team deliver award-winning, dependable, and trustworthy service. Get Her Done Home Remodeling, where your home dreams become reality.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
And now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. We're going to go into a little bit deeper dive with our guest today, but more around the community, their involvement in the community. And Diane, you had such a great question before. That's why I had to just kind of segue it into here. It was a really good transition from our topic into this segment. So if you'll ask it again, and then James, I'd love to hear your response.
Sure. You bet. I just think that James is so talented in this arena. And so people want to know, what do we do? What is our next steps? How do we become successful? Like all the people here talking about how they become successful in their business. So James, could you share with us maybe a piece of advice that you would give us today to help enhance our community engagement, even here on the Community Difference, where we're trying to be a resource, as what Nick was talking about. Mm-hmm. We want to be a resource to the people that live in our community. So what piece of advice would you give us, James, to enhance our community engagement and keep people involved?
It's a great question. So I'm going to answer it this way. So I spent many, many years on Broadway, and you have, at any given time when we were doing Phantom of the Opera, the Majestic Theater, which just is about to reopen, by the way, they renovated it. It's 1,600 seats. We did 8 shows a week, 6 nights a week. We had Mondays off. So think about the community of people that would come and see that show year after year after year after year. Undoubtedly, everyone has heard of that show. There's a fan base that's built around that. Community is so vitally important, hugely important. So imagine yourself or your business. Let's say you're a speaker and you have 200 people coming to your events. Let's say you're a business owner, or Nick has a pipeline of 200 people constantly calling him to sell a house or buy a house or to flip a house, whatever it's going to be. Community is huge. So for this podcast and for what you're doing, having those support community pillars is huge. Being of value, building that community. And I'll go back to our own Facebook group. That in reality, that's a very small number relatively, because you can get huge. We did that as a test. We have not yet, let me put it this way. We don't ask them to buy anything. We've never asked. We've had people ask us. So we're of value. So I'm going in, being of service, being of value. And then what happens is people keep coming in. They want to hear what's going on. They want to see what's happening. So just like you have on this podcast here, people coming in, being of value. Not everything's going to fit everybody, but somebody may go to the arts festival. Somebody may go, really, I want to talk to Nick. Somebody may want to talk to Traci or Diane or Nathan. So building that community is really huge. So think of it as a fan base. Think of yourself as a performer or the star in your field. How can you best build that fan base? How can you best build it is by being of value, giving things that people want, surveying. We do this all the time in the group. We'll ask a simple question. What's the number one thing we're struggling with sleep? we'll get 5 answers. Well, guess what we give them? We're going to give them a product or a free gift that deals with the first answer. If 70% are asking about this thing, we're going to provide that for them. So surveying is a huge way to figure out what your client base wants, even if they want to hear the topics you're talking about, and then pivot within your framework to whatever that topic is, and your audience is going to love you and keep coming back and coming back and coming back. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
It makes perfect sense. And it's so integral to the topic we just had in the previous segment. But honestly, don't see, and this is really the genesis behind the difference is, Lyndon asked the question, why do so many small businesses fail? What's the difference between those that fail and those that don't? And simply, it was not because they didn't have a good product or service. That's probably the case with a few, maybe, but it's just nobody knew about them, right?
Right.
And what better way to be known, to be seen, be heard, and be remembered than to build or to interact with or to give to the community around you, right? And obviously, a Facebook group is a small way to do that, but that's just kind of an introductory to a group of people. But then you start doing face-to-faces and events and going out and meeting people and actually kneecap to kneecap, belly to belly, as some people say, where you get to really know people. That's the huge part of community. Tracy.
Nathan, that I learned a lot with the event that I did yesterday. And this, I'm going to throw this at Nick after, because I know he works in this kind of realm. With the senior community, really every family is my client, right? Everybody knows somebody over 65 or struggling and all of that kind of stuff. But we have the community that we're easily in, and the people that see us, through our reels and our Facebook and that community. But yesterday, me reaching out and doing this car show, I love cars. Cars are cool, but that's not my community. I haven't been in with them before. So having that car show, it opened the door to all of them, knowing that someone like me is out there. This is a community I haven't been in before. So Nick, I'm kind of going to you now. What kind of events, or how have you put yourself out in arenas or different locations that you wouldn't typically get the home buyer, the ones that are already looking for someone like you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. Whenever you're, an entrepreneur, kind of all of us, it's like you have to build up your referral network and your people who know you and know what you do. So yeah, marketing is like the people who succeed are the ones who are most well known. People know about you, they know your services. And that's, whether you like or don't like marketing, I mean, that's sort of as they say in real estate, marketing is the lifeblood of your business. So you have to do it, but there's lots of ways to do marketing. And so you can kind of pick what works best for your personality or for your industry. And so, I go to a lot of networking events, as I know you do as well, but something that, with the car thing, for me recently, I've started actually teaching classes. I don't know if that's something that you guys can go into later as far as like education, stuff like that. But I've started teaching classes at real estate offices about investing, actually. And so something I'm just very passionate about is passive income, investing in real estate and that kind of stuff. And so a lot of people who are in real estate agents, they want to know how to build up their own portfolio as well. And so, I've been buying and owning rental properties for like 10 years. And so I'm not going to say I'm like the expert on investing, but I probably know a little bit more than some people do. And so that's a way like I'm giving back, because I'm like teaching people for free. I'm not like charging for the classes or anything. I'm going to the offices, teaching about how to buy rental properties, how to build up a portfolio. At the same time, kind of like with the car show, you're getting in front of people, and I'm actually building up sort of my database. I'm getting to meet a lot of agents that way, and you are positioned more or less as an authority because you're kind of teaching on the topic. And so that's sort of a dual strategy for me, because I'm getting to teach people and help people and talk about a topic that I really like, but also I'm growing my CRM and people that I know, and I'm meeting more agents that way. So
Hey, there's somebody you can connect with right there, Nick. Look at that.
Perfect. Add me on Facebook. That's pretty much the only social media. I'm about like 65 years old when it comes to my use of social media. So
Careful.
Facebook is about.
Careful.
Well, let's end here, and I'll start back with you, Nick. Because you guys have talked about some of the ways that you've gotten involved in the community, which I think is extremely important. I don't understand. Now, I talked about this probably maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, but being involved in the community was, you could not be involved in the community back, before the Industrial Revolution. Everybody kind of knew who did what in the community. Communities were smaller, more intimate. There was always helping each other out, going to so-and-so for this and so-and-so for that. But as we expand, it's harder to do that. You've got to be a lot more intentional. And I think the intentionality and the urgency by which we try to connect and we try to do the things that we talk about here, the lack of urgency is what keeps us from moving and progressing and building those right relationships. Nick, to you, let's talk about Plano for a second as we wrap up this segment. What's your favorite thing about the Plano community?
Well, actually, it's the part that we live in. So whenever we were, me and my wife got married a few years ago, and I lived in North Dallas. She was in Richardson, and we're like, okay, let's find a house somewhere, and we settled in Plano. And it's a big city, and we're like, we found a place east of 75. So I'm pretty close to Plano East Senior High, which is pretty close to downtown Plano. So it's kind of a cool area. But
wait, you live 2 minutes from me, then I bet you.
All right.
I'm at Jupiter and 14th Street, basically.
Okay, yeah. So I'm right off Los Rios, basically.
Oh my gosh!
But it's east of 75. I feel like it's different from the other part of Plano because there's more green space over here.
Mm-hmm.
We walk to the dog park. And there's that big pond over there, Bob Woodruff, all that kind of stuff. So
we're there all the time.
My wife likes more space. We have a golden retriever, so we go to the dog park all the time, and so I like this part of Plano because it has just more green space, and that's nice. So
you're close to the Balloon Festival too.
Yes, we are.
So not too bad. Traci and Diane, just 15 seconds. What's your favorite part about Plano?
Yeah, I'm going to go with it still has that small town feel. I love the downtown Plano area. We've got all these big corporations all around us, which is great, right? And we've got the new west side of Plano, but I love how community comes together, doing fundraisers, doing the festivals, and you feel like it's down home. Yeah.
Diane?
For me, I just remember moving here, and I just remember how easy it was to get involved. All you have to do is step out and step in. And like Nick said, if you really truly want to be a resource, people see that in you. They see that something in you, they don't know what it is, but they know that you really want to be a resource and that you really do want to help connect them. And so the other thing is really, there's so many small, I like to say local business owners, not small business owners, that really do understand getting behind a cause and helping out a charity and jumping in. It makes me really proud to be part of this community.
Well, we're going to go to commercial when we come back for our final segment. Stick around. What's the difference? It'll be our second week with this new segment. What's the difference? It's really fun. Stick around. We'll be right back.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media, LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
And now it's time for What's the Difference?
All righty. What is the difference? Where I ask you a question, hey, what's the difference question? And then you just give me about 20 or 30 seconds of your answer. Then I'll come back and I'll give you the official answer and figure out if you're right on it or not. So what's the difference between taking ownership of your career and just leaving it to chance? Ownership of your career and just leaving it to chance. Diane.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's called accountability, and doing. My dad always told me, do what you say you're going to do, and be loyal, and be loyal to yourself.
Absolutely. James.
Freedom. To me, it's about freedom. For so many years, if you work for somebody else and you're a pawn in the game, you're a cog in the wheel, yeah, you're going to have potentially a good career. But when you make the career, when you take control of your career, you're driving it like the captain of a ship, and you can go wherever you want to go.
Nick.
I think it's all about taking accountability and being responsible for your own results rather than relying on somebody else for your results, instead of waiting and saying, I hope things get better. But it's kind of like the buck stops with me sort of attitude. So if things are going to get better, I have to be the one to make that happen.
Tracy.
Well, for someone who in the past has been known to fly by the seat of her pants, I can tell you that
no,
that doesn't always work. So yeah, I was sticking with James on that. Having the control and driving where you want to go and having an actual path, and not 5 paths in front of you and just kind of willy-nilly in it.
Well, those are all great answers. I'll give you the official one. We'll see. I think everybody was pretty close. Taking ownership of your career involves actively managing your professional path, setting goals, and making strategic decisions to advance. Leaving it to chance means passively waiting for opportunities or relying on external factors to dictate your career trajectory. So it's basically the opposite of being passive, right? Mm-hmm. All right. What's the difference between a proactive career strategy and a reactive approach to opportunities? A proactive career strategy and a reactive approach to opportunities. It's kind of a rewording, kind of a taking that previous question a step further. Let's go backwards. We'll start with Tracy.
Yeah, I would go back into that proactive. You are designing the course that you are going to take. Reactive is where you are reacting to the course that others have decided to take, and you're reacting to the experience or the situation, and it's not yours.
Nick.
I would say reactive would be sitting around waiting for the phone to ring, hoping that it rings. And proactive is saying, what can I do to make my phone ring?
There you go.
I love that. Diane.
Reactive is kind of where I lived most of my life, and letting other people kind of guide me around and make up my mind for me. And so, it's kind of like the saying, what happens to you in life? You're going to have good things and bad things happen to you in life. But the difference is, how do you react to it? And being proactive is just, it's really the only answer, because then you come up with solutions. If you're proactive, you come up with solutions. You don't come up with problems.
Very good. James, finish us out on this question.
Yeah, I think reactive sometimes is fear-based, right? We're waiting for something to happen. We're waiting for the shoe to drop. We're waiting for someone to ask us or give us permission to do something. Whereas proactive deals with confidence. I think of it this way. You're in a park and you're about to pick up this beautiful oak leaf, and all of a sudden the wind blows and it spews thousands of leaves and you don't know where it is. Well, how do you find what you want to find? You actually have to take the steps to dive through, push through, take the time, find every single leaf, put them in a bag, and then you find yours. So taking action versus reaction. I have a t-shirt that says action creates traction. And that's what it is.
That's good. Action creates traction. I love that. That's awesome. So the answer, and you guys really covered it, a proactive career strategy involves anticipating future trends, preparing for changes, and seeking out opportunities aligned with your goals. A reactive approach involves responding to opportunities as they arise, often without a clear plan or direction. All right, let's do one more, and we got to do it super fast. What's the difference between planning for sustainability and planning for? Let's keep this about 15 seconds. Diane.
You cut out there. We couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, sorry. What's the difference between planning for sustainability and planning for short-term gains?
Oh, gosh. So I guess the big question is it your retirement plan or is it a hobby?
Yeah.
Okay, Tracy.
I would have gone there too. I had that hobby. What does it mean to you? Where are you in this? If it's, part-time, then yeah, no, I'm right with Diane on that.
Nick.
For me, like being sustainable, like the opposite would be being transactional. And so like, I'm not building a business, not building a brand. I don't care the reviews. I don't care what people think about me. And I like, I'm like next on to the next person. But if I'm trying to be sustainable, which I'm trying to be, I want to build a brand, build a business, have people say good things about me, care about reviews, care about good service. And that makes you last in the business.
That's very good. James, final word on this, and then we'll close this out here with some wrap up.
Yeah, legacy. To me, it's legacy, right? So you're building that community. The short term is a Band-Aid. I need to make $500 to pay this bill. I need to make $100 to pay this bill. That's only going to sustain you so far because you're constantly having to go. If you're planning for long-term sustainable success, you're building a legacy where people will follow you. You're building it for your family, for your children. And that deals with all three of the questions that you asked us about in building that long-term viability.
Yeah, you guys were on it. Planning for sustainability involves creating strategies that ensure long-term growth, stability and resilience, even if it means sacrificing immediate rewards. Planning for short-term gain focuses on quick wins that may lack durability or compromise future success. So great job, guys. Really good answers, really good conversation there. First of all, thank you everybody for being on the show. Thank you to James, of course, always Diane. Let's give everyone about 15 seconds to wrap up. Just tell us what you enjoyed, your favorite part of the show today. James, we'll start with you.
Well, I'm just grateful to be here. I'm not a Plano native, and I've known Diane for a number of years, and I absolutely adore her and what she stands for. And when she asked me to come on, I'm like 100%. And I was sitting here going, man, I'm like going on to Zillow and Trulia going, maybe I should find a house in Plano. I literally was doing that on the break. I'm grateful to be here. You guys have something incredible. And I hope that I have been of help to you during this process. So just thank you for having me.
Well, we're glad you have been wonderful, and we appreciate you being on. James, Nick, 15 seconds to you.
Well, I appreciate being here as well. I mean, Tracy's so busy. This gives me an opportunity to hang out with Tracy and talk to her. So that's probably the best part about it. And just, I like Plano. So being here in Plano and talking about it is always fun. So
Tracy.
Yeah, no, I love this topic because one of the hardest things about what I do is remembering that it's a business. And so I am not salesy, but I love to stay top of mind and be involved in the community. So this was a good topic for me to jump in on.
And Diane, last word to you.
I love the topic because when you get to know James, he'll help you build your story so that people know who you are, because whatever it is you're selling, if it's a service or a product, you're not selling that. You're selling you. And if you know how to tell a story, and James knows how to teach you how to do that, then you'll have everything and it will change your life. And the last thing I have to say is, because I always have to say this, is that God doesn't make mistakes. There's no coincidences here today that all of us happen to be on this podcast sharing our expertise and the gifts that God gave us.
Amen to that. Amen to that. I love that. Just a couple of reminders. I want to circle back on a few of the events. The Crace event, Tuesday, September 17th, definitely talking about being a part of the community, understanding how to protect and take care of the community. You'll build a lot of relationships next Tuesday, 6:30 to 8:30. And then, of course, the health and safety of our community is so important. So Saturday, October 5th, mark your calendars at Chase Oaks Church off Legacy Drive, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We've got the Carnival of the Arts coming up in September. And, of course, next Thursday is the gala, I guess, or the gala, whatever you want to call it. I'll eventually settle on one, but I don't know which one that's going to be. And then join us next Thursday as well. No, 2 Thursdays from now at our happy hour and our Business Development Alliance, which we'll have more details out shortly. Guys, great conversation today. Enjoyed James, Nick. Thank you so much for being on. Phenomenal time. Always for Diane and Traci. Enjoyed you guys very much. So stick around. We'll be right here, same time, 11:30 next Wednesday, the 18th. We'll continue our topic conversation. We'll have some different exciting guests and different co-hosts. We'll have Megan Schaffer, of course, and Jeannie Smith on. Have a great week. Do something. Take something that you've learned today, apply it to your business, find a way to connect with the community. Come out and meet us. Talk to us, send us a message on our Plano community page. We'd love to get to know you, but be safe. We'll see you back here next week. You'll have a great
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Plano was made possible by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, Diane Cassel with Cassel to Cassel, connecting charities to fundraising solutions, Jim Thomas, business consultant and business funding expert, Tyler Clifton with Harvest Business Solutions, Traci Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Asiya Mahmood with Windhaven Academy, Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel, Jacqueline Kreider with PBJ Mortgage, Megan Schaffer with the Hive of the Happily Insured, Jeannie Smith with Guardian Mortgage, a division of Sunflower Bank, N.A., and by Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training at the Gleneagles Plano and Castle Hills locations. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference.